Hello. For many years I have been watching Korean dramas, and their makeup is always super amazing and like flawless and beautiful, and I want it. So I found a tutorial, a lot of them actually, on YouTube by the makeup artist Jung Saem Mool. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm actually going to be making this in two parts because she has two separate videos on how to do the K-drama actress makeup. One video is like the base makeup, the foundation, concealer, contour, that kind of thing. The other video is like the point makeup, the eyes, the lips, the blush, things like that. So I'm going to be doing following them both in two separate videos. Because if I did them both in one video, it would just be like a super long video. So the one I'm going to be doing today, obviously, is the base makeup one, because I may not ever be able to look like a K-drama actress, but I could at least have makeup like one. So I also purchased this because the makeup artist in the video is using the Jung Saem Mool foundation and concealer palette. This is the Essesntial Star-cealer foundation in the shade Fair Light. I believe it was the lightest shade. It's number 17. And in this you get, for the foundation, you get 0.52 ounces. So you get half an ounce of foundation, and you get 0.15 ounces of concealer in this. It seems a little, like the amounts seem a little small, considering the price I paid for it. Given that it was formulated by a makeup artist, I'm pretty positive that it will be really good quality. So I can't complain too much. Inside you got a little brush and a little puff guy on this plastic thing. You take that off. Underneath you got the concealer, and right over here, I haven't taken this off yet. I will do that right now. And right underneath here is a little hole, so you just push down on this and it should, it dispenses a little bit of the product. And right here in the middle, right here, there's like this little textured area. That is where you use your brush to kind of mix things. I don't think I'm going to be using these today though, just because she doesn't use these in the video, I don't think. So I'm just going to be setting these off to the side. And we're going to be just focusing on this, and I have a couple more brushes that I'm going to be using today. So let's get started here. I'm excited.
안녕하세요. 메이크업 아티스트
안녕하세요.
손주입니다. 오늘은 바로 드라마의 꽃, 여배우 메이크업에 관하여 설명드리려고 하는데요.
Actress makeup in drama, natural, part 1.
안녕하세요. 메이크업 아티스트 손주입니다.
A few things you should remember when making a natural makeup look for actresses. The first one is to know how to correct shades for a perfect and natural coverage.
So I don't have a color correcting palette. I will be getting one soon because I'm tired of not having one. Yeah, I don't have one of those right now.
And lastly, you should know how to select natural colors that match a model's personal color. The color of dark circles is dull blue and green. I should cover it up with warm orange. I'll brighten the temples with lavender concealer as they look a bit dark. The color of cheeks is usually red. I should cover it with its complementary color, which is green. Apply the concealers on these corresponding parts of the face.
So, like I mentioned, I don't have a palette like the one she uses, so my options are limited. I have this sort of minty colored thing because I have a lot of redness, and the best I have for that, because I do have some under eye circles, so the best I have is a very old lipstick. Like, this probably should be thrown out. Oh, I'm going to attempt to mix this with a little bit of the concealer in here, and I'm going to try and make like a light color for underneath my eyeballs. So I'm going to just pick up a little bit of that concealer, and I'm going to take some of this on the back of my hand and mix it in to make like a light pink color. And I'm going to apply this under my eyes. Obviously, the first step of makeup should always be some sort of skincare. In this video, they obviously did prep the model's skin with something. I did go in with a moisturizing toner. I am gonna go in with some of this on my cheeks because I definitely need help there. And she says to only use a small amount at a time. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, now what do we do next?
Pick it up with a brush. Use a palette to remove excess. See how the shade matches with the color of the neck? I'll go ahead with this shade.
I don't have a brush like hers. I have either like the really flat foundation brushes, and I have this one, the one that I usually use. It's kind of deformed, but it works okay for me. So I'm going to, oh, this is exciting. Okay, so I'm going to push down on this. Yeah? Why isn't it working? Wait, where do you push down? Oh, you push that. I'm dumb. You push on this. You push on the edge part. See? Ooh. Look. Oh, it's so cute. So, she says to take a little bit of it on your brush. So I'm just going to dab my brush in there a little bit on the edge. And then you wipe off the excess here. Stupid brush is gonna hold on to more product than I would like. So we're gonna apply it down here to see if it matches. Sure. Ooh, it has a smell to it. The makeup has a smell to it. The concealer does not, but the makeup itself, the foundation, it's a nice smell. It's a little strong though.
Pick up the foundation with a brush. Start at the V-zone, which has the thickest skin. Since the skin in this part is quite thick, you should give some pressure to spread evenly. Blend it with the dotted concealer naturally.
So we blend it with the dotted concealer. Cool. So she's kind of just like patting it on and then like lightly swiping, like little motions like this. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Apply it to the thin zones, which are the skin around the eyes, nose, outer part of the face, and forehead. At this time, relax your hand and use less amount of foundation. Gently dab to prevent any harsh brush lines.
So I'm just gonna finish doing the one side. My brush doesn't fit as well underneath my eyeballs because it's a bigger boy than hers, but I'm working with what I got. And she kind of holds the brush like this and dabs it with the brush. And she even does the eyelid. I don't usually put foundation on my eyelids, but why not? Couldn't hurt. She does concealer next, but she only does one side of the model's face at a time. So I'm just gonna zip ahead and finish this side of my face with the foundation before moving on to the concealer. I'm back. So I finished applying the foundation to my entire face. I really, really like the way it looks. Basically, the whole idea is to apply the majority of the foundation in the V-zone right here, and then you blend it out from there. So I really like the way, this foundation applied. I have no complaints whatsoever. I actually like it's been on my face for a few minutes now, and I've noticed that there's a little bit of creasing under this eye, but there's like pretty much no creasing at all otherwise. I'm actually really impressed. I don't know if it's the method of application or if it's the foundation itself or a combination of the two. But either way, I really like the way this looks so far. So let's move on. I think concealer's next.
I'll apply foundation once again for second coverage. I think she needs more coverage around the cheeks. Mix the foundation and concealer together and pick it up with a concealer brush. Gently dab the concealer to apply it on top of the foundation without wiping it off. Blend it outwards to the skin in order not to make it look apparent. Make sure you're paying attention to how I'm using the brush. I'm gently dabbing the concealer without pushing it.
Okay, so we're mixing a little bit of the foundation with a little bit of the concealer on a concealer brush. The only concealer brush I have is dirty right now. I have to clean it, so this is actually just an old eyeshadow brush that I don't use really that often. So I'm just going to be using this today. Hopefully it works good enough. So we're mixing that with a little bit of the foundation and then just dabbing it on areas that we think need more coverage. I think just under my eyes and right here on my cheeks might need a little more coverage. Maybe the tip of my nose. We'll see. So you just dab it with a very light hand so you don't ruin the makeup underneath. So I'm just lightly dabbing it right here, kind of like where my under eye area and my cheek meet, right here. Just to kind of conceal that area a little more, because I think that's where I need a little bit more coverage. I got a little red spot on the tip of my nose from wearing a mask at work, because it rubs against the tip of my nose. So I always have a little red mark there now. There we go.
If there's any spots that need more coverage, apply the concealer again with a small brush. You should relax your hand when applying concealer so that the foundation doesn't wipe off. Let me highlight the bottom of the eyes. I'll mix a shimmery pink, brighter, and orange concealer together. Relax your hand and gently spread.
Okay, so I'm going to take that lip brush and take a tiny bit of that concealer. So I have this teeny tiny little spot here. Yep, right there. So I'm going to try and conceal that a little more, just because. She says to tap super gently so you don't disturb the foundation underneath. We'll see how that goes. Okay, next she's going in with under eye illuminator stuff, sort of underneath the eye here and on the eyelid. I don't have an under eye illuminator, but my eyelids, I usually don't put anything on my eyelids. I don't care that much, but for the sake of this video, my eyelids are a little bit red, so I'm going to mix a teensy weensy bit of this in with the foundation and sort of just apply that around my eye. So I'm basically just creating a lighter shade of foundation just to go right here and on my eyelid, because I don't have the pen thing that she used. There's a little bit of a difference.
I should move on to contouring, but rather than adding shades, I'll try wiping off the foundation with sponge. This will make the face look much more natural than using contour shades. The contouring part will be the same.
So basically, instead of using a powder or a cream contour, she's just wiping off the makeup from the perimeters of the face with a sponge. So I got a sponge, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Well, see, the only problem with my skin is that it turns so red that, like, any natural shading on my head is pink. I personally would prefer to use just the tiniest bit of powder contour, but that's not what she does, so I'm not gonna do that. So we're wiping to contour. So wiping off the makeup in this area right here can help your face have more of like a V shape instead of looking super round like mine is. So wiping off the makeup in this area or adding a little bit of contour in this area can really help make your face look a little bit slimmer.
I'll just use my finger for the nose because it's quite narrow.
All right.
Moving on to powdering. Pick up a matte powder with the brush and remove excess on a palette. This is to set the oily T-zone and surrounding skin with powder. Use a puff to avoid having a caked-on look if necessary. Try placing the powder on top of the foundation by dabbing rather than pushing it. Now, let me use a pour powder that has fine particles. Pick up the powder with a round-tipped blending brush. Apply it to the T-zone and side of the nose, which are the area where makeup can be rubbed off easily and that can become easily oily. Gently apply the powder without clumping with the foundation. It's good to apply another layer of powder because if an actress shoots a drama for a long time, makeup gets rubbed off easily. Now, I'm done with the base.
I obviously don't have her powder, but I do have the Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Pact. Does come with a little puff, but what she uses is a brush kind of like this one. It really just looks like a flat foundation brush, so I'm going to be trying it that way. So I'm just going to dab my brush in the powder, pick some up, and then just use my hand to dab off the excess. And then I'm going to dab it onto the face. She also says to go in with a smaller brush with a different kind of powder on the nose and parts that tend to get a little oilier. This is the only powder I have. This and a couple other powders that are like the exact same kind of powder. So I'm just going to use this twice. Okay, now I'm going to move on to a smaller brush. I'm just going to apply that kind of around my nose area. So here is my base makeup. Pretty much everything looks flawless, which is not surprising because I follow the advice of a makeup artist. The only thing I personally would do differently, I think, is like I was saying earlier, because my face is so red, for the contouring I would prefer using instead of rubbing off the foundation to contour. I would go in with a tiny bit of powder contour just to avoid exposing some of this redness here on the side of my face, here on my cheeks, because there is a little bit of that coming through now. because I rubbed the makeup off to naturally contour. A little bit on my forehead too, barely noticeable. But yeah, that's the only change I would make personally. In my opinion, makeup artists are so freaking talented because they can look at a person's face and know exactly what colors to use, where, exactly how much of a product, exactly what kind of technique to use. Like, they can create extremely flawless makeup with like the most minimal amount of product, just by knowing how skin works and knowing what colors complement each other and knowing what techniques to use. So I really like learning things like this. I actually really like this this palette as well, this foundation and concealer duo. I don't know how it's gonna wear all day. This isn't a wear test video, this isn't a foundation review, but I can pop something in here just to let you guys know how it sort of, you know, was on my skin throughout the day, how it did wear throughout the day, just in case you're interested. So yeah, there it is. That's my base makeup done. I had a lot of fun doing this, actually. I actually learned a lot doing this. I learned I need a color correcting palette, a proper one. I actually learned a lot of very valuable techniques from this tutorial, and I'm very I'm excited to try the next one where she goes over the color makeup, the eyes, the lips. Yeah, so that's going to be in my next video, is doing part 2 of this, the second video in the how to do your makeup like a K-drama actress. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.